The tropical rainforests of Southeast Asia are hunters thought to have been long forgotten have survived to this day. The genus of monkeys is found only on Borneo. Angkangon belongs to the Murut people. He knows his way around the forest very well. He learned the properties of the individual plants and how to use them from his forefathers. Now, it is up to him to pass his experience on to the next generation. Angkangon warns his nephew Anduru about the pitfalls of the climbing palm. The plant is more dangerous than it looks. When the outer bark breaks, a fine dust is released which can cause an eye infection. So the stalks must be bent into shape with great care. Anduru pays close attention to his teacher. For transport, Angkangon bends the thin branches into a ring. He needs the climbing palm to repair his blowgun. The blowgun is the traditional weapon of the Murut, the last of Sabah's indigenous tribes to give up headhunting. Up until about 100 years ago, collecting enemy heads played an important role in the tribe's social and religious life. Today, the blowgun is only used to hunt animals. Angkangon knows right where to look to find the perfect raw material for the arrows. He splits the branch to make sure of its quality. The wood needs to be perfect. Any unevenness or natural notch would influence the arrow's precision in flight. Angkangon is satisfied. He will be able to carve about 100 deadly arrows out of this piece of wood. On the way back to the village, he tells his nephew tales of ages long past. Headhunting is among mankind's oldest rituals. It was common. Angkangon and Anduru have made it back to the village. Now the uncle shows the boy how to carve arrows. But that is just an excuse. In fact, Angkangon wants to initiate his nephew into the art of making a blowgun. But he is in an awkward position. The Murut are only allowed to make their blowguns alone. If they want to be successful on the hunt, no one must be allowed to watch them. How should Anduro learn this craft if no one can show it to him? Angkangon trusts in the boy's natural curiosity. He lets him continue to carve on his own while he gives himself to the task of making the blowgun. Sooner or later, the boy's curiosity will get the better of him, and Anduro will risk a glance. After all, that is how Angkangon and all the other elders learned the secret as well. Angkangon drives a hole in the wood with an iron rod. After that, he rinses out the wood shavings and softens the shaft. Angkangon was right. After the stem has been hollowed out, a particularly touchy phase begins. The tube must be shaped. This process can take several days. The valuable piece is hidden during breaks in the work in order to protect it from curious onlookers. Now he shows his nephew how the back part of the arrow needs to look. The plug at the end of the arrow must fit the size of the tube exactly in order for sufficient air pressure to build up. The arrows don't have a hardened tip, so they just barely penetrate the skin of their victims. For that reason, the Murut resorts to a quick-acting poison. The potion is made from various rainforest plants. The recipe is a tribal secret. Anduru is not yet among those privileged to know it. The arrows dipped in the poison have to dry for several hours. With rattan from the forest and working together now, they fix the sight on Angkangon's blowgun. If it is off by even a millimeter, the shooter will miss his target. The two of them give it all their attention and effort. After all, they want to go hunting with the blowgun this afternoon. In the meantime, Angkangon and Anduro have reached the forest. The young man wears a rattan basket on his back in anticipation of carrying prey home in it. The basic ground rule is absolute silence. Today, it is not just about killing an animal. Since headhunting was outlawed, the initiation into manhood has become the first successful hunt with the blowgun. Only after that will Anduro be welcomed into the circle of the adults. Angkangon singles Anduro to stay back. He has heard something. Indeed, he has. A young wild pig is feeding in the underbrush. Missed. Angkangon is surprised. Did he make a mistake in his repairs? He will have to compensate for the divergence on his next shot. He stays relaxed. The pig will certainly return to its feeding place. The two hunters wait in hiding. It doesn't take long for the pig to reappear. Angkangon risks another shot. The pig the hunters have killed is slaughtered and smoked right then and there so that the innards remain in the forest. The spirit of the animal resides in the inner parts. They may not be removed from the forest. Otherwise, misfortune might come upon the hunters and their families. The smoking process preserves the meat and destroys any vermin. Then they transport it home right away. Later in the day, the meat is served as a festive meal in honor of Anduru. His excitement grows as he anticipates the celebration. Angkangon and Anduru are neighbors. The furnishings of the huts reflect the situation in Sabah. The traditional and the modern are not contradictions here. The pig, slaughtered according to ancient ritual, is kept in the refrigerator. Kala, Anduru's sister, receives the meat from the hunters. She has just come home from school. The rituals and the stories of her tribe are as much a part of her everyday life as pop stars and television. Time has not stood still even in Sabah's remote settlements, but it remains to be seen whether or not the young people will be able to resist the temptations of city life, and Carol celebration begins in the village's community house. The Murut open the evening with a dance of those willing to get married. The young men follow the master of ceremonies onto the dance floor. Angkangon has the honor of putting the traditional tree bark vest on Anduru. Now Anduru is recognized to be a man. For the first time in his life, he is able to join in the dance of those willing to wed. The embroideries on the vests are decorations as well as status symbols. They communicate the family stand in the tribal community. A moment all young men longingly anticipate. The first drink from the rice wine pitcher. Today it is Anduro's turn. The celebration has been going on for several hours already. Also among the Murut, social events provide an opportunity to impress those of the opposite sex. The youth try to capture a trophy made of wild pigskin tied to the ceiling. Playful competitive games like this are meant to demonstrate strength and endurance, and to make an impression on the young ladies. Anduru does quite well in the game. But the trophy goes to another this time. It is unusually quiet in the village in the morning following the extended celebration. Apart from that, everything stays the same. The Kinabatangan flows quietly